Hello, my YouTube friends. Thanks for joining in tonight. Welcome to the Audio Master Show, man. I appreciate you guys joining in. As always, I hope you guys had a great Monday. What a great day it was, man. This is a shout out to Lynn Reed. I wanted to reach out to you, man, because I've noticed you've been posting a lot on the Facebook group. I know you've been watching a lot of videos on preamps and interfaces and how that what to get, what not to get. Does it make a difference? And does it not make a difference? I mean, there's so many myths and whatnot out there about the two. But nowadays, I just want to name a few that maybe you might want to look into, especially if you're just getting started in recording and whatnot, and you want to lay down some cool tracks, man. I know you do. Everybody does, and I know you're a great musician. So I can't wait to hear some stuff that you actually, put together and share with us guys, man. But I wanted to mention a couple really cool ones, kind of in the entry level area that sound really, really good. I know because I have one of them here, and I fell in love with this baby when I got it. So, a lot of your interfaces, I do want to say a lot of your interfaces these days will have a preamp in them. And so, you can get from A to B to your DAW without having an external preamp to get you there. So, a lot of the interfaces have the preamp inside them, and you don't have to get another preamp or whatever to get them from A to B. However, how do you want it to sound? The preamps have been tried and proven over and over again. If you even go to your bigger studios and look inside their studio, man, they have this big, beautiful board, right? And even mixing boards have their own sound to them. And a lot of people who are recording actually like to go and mix and lay down their tracks or have their tracks mixed out on a particular board because it has a certain flavor or vibe to it, right? I mean, Trident's one of them. There's just tons and tons. They all sound different, but they all sound great. But even when you go in those big studios, Lynn, they'll have racks and racks and racks of other preamps to actually run their microphones, hook their microphones up to, and then get them into the whatever medium they're recording them on. So they like to add that flavor, that sauce, that fatness, whether it's a tube preamp or whatnot. They like to do that, and it just adds color. Kind of like cooking with a lot of different herbs. I mean, can you imagine maybe cooking spaghetti with only salt? You know, no, man, you want to add everything in there and all the different herbs and whatever to add those different flavors to the mix. And that way you have a conglomeration of this beautiful sound, right? Or beautiful spaghetti when you're done. So I wanted to share that with you, man, because I didn't know where you were and how much you really knew about interfaces or preamps or whatever. But I wanted to share a couple good ones with you, man. Kind of entry level and then in the middle of the road. And then, man, you can spend tons and tons of money on preamps. But I want to share one with you that I actually have right here and behind me. It's called the Tone Bees by Warm Audio. And I wanted to share this preamp with you because of the fact that how many different sounds that I can get out of this baby. Wow. I mean, it really has. I mean, everything from changing the capacitors in it to the transformer in it to how hard you hit it in the beginning. And it changes the sound. There's so many different options. It's like the Swiss Army knife of a preamp. I mean, I couldn't believe the sounds that I was getting out of that baby whenever I got it. And that thing is called the TB12. You can look it up, Warm Audio TB12, and it'll run about $5.99. So I'm going to put some links down here below, so you guys, if you want to just check out these um, different preamps and whatnot, it'll make it easier on you for checking them out or whatever. And it has all the specs and all that good stuff on them. But I got this preamp, Lynn, and I really, really do enjoy it. And like I say, on a lot of your interfaces, there's an input on the back or whatever where you can bypass the preamp inside that interface and just use the preamp that you want to, color the sound with or whatever and get you to your doll. So I really enjoy my Tone Beast. I really, really have been enjoying it. There's a lot of good ones out there. There's a lot of preamps out there that are really, really good. I mentioned some the other day. API, Neve. These are some of the 1073s are just renowned for running your vocals through. A U87 through a Neve, and the LA2A is like the go-to chain in your big professional studios. However, that Tone Beast makes some great sounds and a good microphone. I think you'll do some great work with it. I really enjoy my Tone Beast. Another great microphone preamp that's a DI as well is the Universal Audio 710 Twin. Check it out, look it up, look at the reviews on it. It's another good one. It actually has, you can use 100% of the tube side of it or 100% of the solid state side of it or a variation of the two. And that's what makes that preamp such a beautiful baby. And I mean, it's built like a brick. It actually weighs 9 pounds, that preamp, and it's a half rack space unit, but you can actually get the ears to it to put it in a full rack space. So that might be a preamp that you want to check into. All their universal audio stuff, man, is just killer. I've recorded with the 610 mic pre back in the day when they first came out with that 610 mic pre, and there was only the preamp section. Nowadays, you can buy it with a 610 pre and then the compressor right beside it. But mine was just the preamp, and man, it just had a really fat, beautiful, wide sound. It just had a distinct sound to it, and I love Universal Audio stuff. It's built like a tank, and you can't go wrong with Universal Audio. They've been around a long, 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 long time, and it's something to you might want to look into. Now that baby is going to run you about $899. Okay, so that's right under $1,000, but it's a beauty, man, and it's you can run your bass guitar through it, like I say, your guitar, um, or your vocals through it. So that might be a preamp that you might want to look into and do some versatile stuff with as well, being that you have the tube side and then the solid state side, and then you can do the variation between the two, getting you there. So it sounds like you're going to have a lot of little things to play with to get your tone right. And then the third one that I wanted to mention that I love, I am a Avalon fan and have been since the day I started using Avalon. Avalon is a beautiful, beautiful mic preamp DI, and it's called the Avalon B5 mic pre DI, and that's going to set you back about 1995. So it's going to set you back right under $2,000 for that baby. But you will like the Avalon B5, and all the Avalon stuff is in every major recording studio from here on out. And I wanted to give you a shout out, man, because I know you've been watching these videos and whatnot. And a lot of times, if you don't hear firsthand from somebody who's actually used these things, it can steer you down the wrong road. And I'm just want to share a few that I like, and then you can make your own decision on what kind of preamp you want or whatever, because there's a lot of them out there. And here's an interface that I've been reading about. Now, I haven't used this interface, but I've been hearing a lot of good things about it. It may be an interface that you want to check out. Like I say, I haven't used it, but it's called Black Lion Audio. Black Lion Audio interface. They make one. I want to say it's a 2 channel, and that's going to set you back $399. So for that interface right there, but I've been hearing a lot of good things about it as far as the realism of that interface, and then they make a lot of other boutique stuff and whatnot, and so that might be a interface that you might want to check out. For $400. So you can get you a nice preamp. Plus, it has the preamps in it as well. So that's going to get you to your DAW. You might want to start out with something like that first, and then if you want to add a preamp later on, another external preamp, you can, to add some flavor and spice to the mix, man. I don't know if you're going to be tracking a lot of instruments at one time, or if you're going to be tracking just single instruments. A lot of times people do that as well. They'll, get a click track going or whatnot, and then they'll lay down their bass part or their guitar part, and then they'll come back and do a lot of overdubs. So, that might be an interface that you might want to start out on, depending on what kind of, if you're going to have other band members come in or whatever. Um, that is going to make a big difference on how you want to start out. If you're going to have more than one or two, three people sitting in on the session, and y'all all want to put on cans and hang out around a click track and lay down some stuff, you might want to think about a different interface or whatever, or one that's going to have more ins and outs than that one. But it will get you started, man. So those are some of my those are three microphone preamps that is a decent, really, really not more than decent, but a really good preamp that'll get you down the road and sound good, man. And so I'm excited that you've been joining in and actually participating in all the comments and whatnot. I really do appreciate that, Lynn. It says a lot, and and it goes a long way. So I just wanted to share this information with you tonight, man. If you have any questions, you can always message me or private message me, or even do it in the group itself where everybody can see the questions that you have. And but yeah, those are some good ones. You can't go wrong with Avalon. Avalon, like I say, is a dream. Is a dream. It sounds really, really super clean and just pristine on everything. I love it. And then the warm audio stuff too, man. That TB12, I've been having a lot of fun with it, just simply because I can dial in different things and get it going, man. Get it sounding really, really good. Now you might want to. A lot of people don't compress whenever they track. However, I like to use a little bit of compression whenever I'm tracking, and just kind of tickle those meters a little bit, and actually do gain staging with other compressors once I get it in the DAW. So, but I do like to run it through a nice compressor before I get to my interface, so that like I say, I'll just like to just run it through, just to add a little sauce and spice to the mix, and just tickle those meters a little bit. Not a whole bunch of compression, but just a little bit, and run it through there. And some people don't even like to compress at all. They just like to track with a nice preamp and then right into the DOM, and then add compression later on. So it just varies from engineer to engineer. That might be something that you want to check out as well. But there's a lot of great compressors out there that we can go into on another night on what some of my favorite compressors are and have been that I've used in the past. I do love the Empirical Lab stuff. The distressor they put out is amazing compressor. It's pretty much the Swiss Army knife of all compressors, and it does it all, man. Copies of DBX 160, copies, 1176, it copies a ton of different compressors, and they actually give you the settings when you buy that distressor as to how to achieve those settings, that sound by those famous compressors. So the distressor, check out the distressor on the compressor, check out the Fatso, also stereo compressor for the Empirical Labs, man. It's a If you want to get a compressor or whatever, that would probably be the one that I would get. That'll get you in there, man. It's a kind of a little pricey, man, but I'm telling you, dude, anything you run through this compressor, Lynn, I mean, it's just like butter, man. It's silk. It just sounds beautiful. And like I say, the manual on that distressor gives you all these different readings and calibrations that you can do to sound like, I don't know, John Bottom on the drums, or whatever, man. They've got all these different settings that you can actually go through by the manual, and dial up some really great quick tones, man. So after I started using that thing, man, I had like a little I don't know, little notes to the side of any project that I did, and just so that I would remember where I had my settings, and I would jot out what song I used it on, what settings I used it, so that I would know. And then after a while, I got a few of them that was just by memory, and just would dial in, my settings and whatever, and go there real quick. But yeah, I wanted to share that with you, Lynn. I wanted to share that with you tonight, man. Thanks so much for joining tonight. I'm gonna keep it simple, man. But I did want to reach out to you because I've noticed you've been posting some stuff on our group, man. So if you haven't joined our Facebook group, it is a group where a lot of engineers, musicians, and producers and everybody are coming together with what they do and posting their information on the site so that we can all link together and do some great stuff together. So I just wanted to mention that to you guys so that and then share, tell your friends. I know you got some friends that like to play music. I know you got some engineer friends, and that's what we're doing. We're creating a beautiful hub here, man, where we can all come together and do some beautiful stuff and actually work together. And so that's the whole idea, is that we can eventually, um, you know, bring in people to help us out on projects that we're on. And so that's what the group channel is about, man. You don't want to miss out. The greatest. And I'm also going to be doing interviews on different artists as well as engineers. It's gonna be tons of fun, man. You'll see it's gonna be a lot of fun, and we're sharing great information for you guys, man. We're sharing stuff that we're using in the studio, how we're using it in the studio, how it's gonna benefit. You're gonna benefit from it, and just a lot of shortcuts, and kind of keep it direct to you guys so that you're not guessing as to how to go about doing things, how to go about laying some tracks. I also want to do, I'm going to be doing a video here real soon on mic placement on your speaker cabs. I've seen it time and time again where somebody just crammed the 57 right in the center of the cone or on the edge of the cone and not do anything other than with just one mic. And there's so many different things on mic and cabs. Um, to get great sound. So, I typically like to use three microphones or sometimes even four, one behind the cab, but a good ribbon microphone, and then a condenser microphone, and then a 57 perhaps, or some type of pencil mic um, on the edge of the speaker, man. So yeah, we can get some great sounds that way as well. But that's on another night. Lynn, thank you so much for joining in and all you do and you bring to the table. I appreciate you as always. Thank you guys for joining in tonight, and we will see you tomorrow.